Okay, now we're on. This Hangout on Air is live.
Excellent. Thank you.
Okay. And I know
Where?
we're a couple minutes early, but
Yeah. Where are you all from?
I live in Florida.
Oh, wonderful.
North Carolina.
Oh my goodness, I'm jealous of you guys. I live in Rhode Island. It's not as
It's
glamorous
cold.
at all. It's cold. Yeah.
Yeah. It was like 68, 72 today. It was beautiful. But then it's supposed to be like really cold this weekend, so everybody's going to be sick.
Define really cold. I want to hear what you think really cold is.
Well, I mean, it's supposed to be down in the teens at night, so that's pretty cold.
Yeah, we recently just within the last week were in the negatives. So
Yeah.
like during the
Yeah.
day in the negatives.
Yeah. You
I
can
think
have
we got to 50 at
Yeah.
night.
Yeah, we did have one beautiful day this early, when was it? Was it yesterday that it was in the 50s in the middle of the day and my kids put shorts on.
it.
I was like, guys, it's too soon, too soon. But they wanted to put shorts on because to them it felt like summer. It
Warm.
was,
Well,
yeah,
my kids were outside in 38-degree weather, barefooted, jumping on the trampoline. So, hey,
yeah,
you have no judgment from me.
yeah. I ought to be young again, seriously.
I was studying and saw them running by the window as my husband was watching them. So
Are you guys finished with planning and implementation and all that?
I am in dissemination, praise God.
I was supposed to be in a different spot, and then I actually changed jobs in October. And so my clinical site, I was just starting planning. My clinical site changed, everything changed. So I actually had to put my DNP project on hold until I get my feet wet with this new job. But it was too good of an offer to walk away from. So
Yeah,
it is what it is.
right.
It's
Well, I
going to take
just
me a while.
graduated in August, so I'm starting a new job, doing planning and doing this policy right now.
Oh, wow.
That's awful.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I'm ready for the 11 weeks to be over.
Yeah,
yeah.
I hear you. I'm only taking this right now, but I'm still in the onboarding process of my new job, and it's. I've been a nurse practitioner for 14 years, and this job is like nothing I've ever experienced before. It's like a leadership role, which is great, but it's like it's crazy.
What kind of job
So
is it?
I'm the director of health studies for, I'm sorry, director of health services for the Rhode Island School of Design. It's a 4-year art college in Rhode Island. Um, we have like 42% of our population is international students. So it's
Wow.
interesting. There's a lot of policy to deal with. There's a lot of, you know, it's really, I'm setting I'm sort of setting initiatives and managing a team of 6 nurse practitioners and um,
Joining.
that's okay. All right.
So let me ask you a question, girls, because she said that we could do this as a video conference, as on that chat board, or as an email chain, as long as we copied her on it. So how do you do an hour on a video or an email chain, or
The hour
like?
is just if we're taping. Otherwise, you just have to prove that you discussed That's why I'm thinking actually the taping is probably the worst idea because it has to be so
Yeah.
long.
Yeah, I mean, like, because I don't know that I have all this. I mean, it's like a struggle. Like, my husband canceled his classes at college tonight to go get our kids, so I could do this because he teaches
Yeah.
college at a university. So, I mean, this is like, I don't know.
Yeah, we could do an email if you want, or she said we could do a Google Docs as long as, there it was color coded as to who says what, and we have to
Okay.
kind of have a key that says Tamara's pink and etc. so that she
Yeah.
knows exactly who's saying what,
Yeah.
which
Yeah,
might
I'm
be
just
Okay.
easier.
thinking like for time considerations because an hour
Right.
is a lot, you know. Plus,
Yeah.
we could probably just be as efficient in a document as, you know,
Yeah.
after our initial meeting. I don't know. I'm just throwing out ideas.
Yeah, I'm good with that too.
Yeah.
Rachel,
For
I don't
me,
know. You kind of came in late. They were talking about like if we were having online meetings, they had to be an hour.
Yeah, I honestly, I mean, I don't mind doing evenings, but I know that it's just hard. I mean, even with this little survey we did, it's hard to get everybody on the same schedule. So it's fine with me to do the emails. That way we have actual record of what we've been discussing. So nothing, there's no issues with communication
mhm.
as far as what was said and what wasn't said. So that might be helpful too.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm cool with anything. I just have 6 weeks left, and I will be through with Frontier Nursing University.
Yay!
You are very lucky.
I know. Seriously, we're all jealous of you.
Yeah.
So,
So
I
we
would
So
like
I,
to do a project in a perfect place. I mean, he even has on his notes MIPS. It says down at the bottom MIPS, and it's a surgical dermatology, so he doesn't even have to do MIPS. He is just so thorough that I can't, my gaps are going to have to be cheesy like Flo or something.
who's y'all's DNP leader?
Diana Jollis.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, she's mine too. But I tell you, she will make you produce high quality work, and your end result will be very high quality. So
Good.
I had many tears shed over that lady. Buckets probably, but at the end result I think is good because I've seen, other, students, and I've read their things, and she makes you like capture the whole picture, and I think that's essential to your project. Like what
mhm.
it's the meaning in the scope of what's around you and how it resonates to your community and that kind of thing. And she really wants you to capture that, what makes your project meaningful, not just to you and your clinic, but to the community, and how it can, transcend your small thing. So she's really excellent at that. So
That's awesome.
she's tough. She's hard as nails. Trust me. I had to do like a independent study one term because I didn't make it through planning. I mean, I passed the class, but I didn't finish my planning. So, hey, if you have to do an independent study on any of this, guys, I highly recommend it because it will only give you extra time. Because I could break my PDSA cycles up between 2 terms, and it drew it out longer, so I didn't have to rush so hard. So don't beat yourself up about it if you end up doing that. It really worked out for the best, and she is very supportive of you guys. So I don't know if if anybody else has her or not, or have gotten that far, but she's wonderful. So
That's great.
sorry
Awesome.
for the sidebar, but
I accept all help that I can get.
can't help but lament on it a little bit after you've been through it. You feel like you have all these scars that you want to share.
Yeah. It's like childbirth.
So if you guys, after I'm done, if you guys want to hit me up, I will give you all the advice that you want, and I will be there to help you. So
Thank you.
Sounds
Dr.
good.
Dr. Jollis actually wants me to publish my work, so that means a lot to me. So
That's excellent. Yeah.
anyway.
All right. So I think we need to pick a policy issue. So is that correct? That's the first thing that we're doing in our planning
Yes.
process here.
Yeah, I saw that's due Sunday. I didn't realize we actually had to upload it. So
That's due this Sunday, correct?
mhm.
Yeah.
The topic.
So Rachel, you had the tobacco labeling, right?
Yes.
And then, Sonia, you had meaningful use, right?
Yes.
EHR.
And then, is it Tamara or Tamara? Tamara? Okay. You had Medicare reimbursement for skin cancer.
Yeah.
And then I had Medicaid reimbursement for gender affirmative care. So
I personally kind of like the tobacco one, actually.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I liked yours a lot.
Now, does it matter that the evidence that I found didn't support my policy?
I don't think so, because we're supposed to pretend like it never happened, and we're trying to convince them that they need to do it.
Okay.
So she was even saying, you know, you don't want to really, whoever you're talking to, whoever the audience is, that's who you are supposed to be engaging.
Okay.
So, I mean, you could even convince, I don't know, Walmart not to sell tobacco product, you know, whatever it happens to be.
Okay.
Because that was my question too. And also, you know, does all three see the letter and the fact sheet and the narrated slide presentation, does that all go to the same person? And she said not necessarily.
Just depends on who you're presenting to.
Because at some places you want to get the public to back you, so that puts more pressure on the legislatures to, you know, vote towards the direction you want them to vote. So we could do something towards the public as far as the narrated slide or something, and just the letter and the fact sheet would go to the legislative body.
I mean, you could probably do a really good narrated slide presentation to the public as far as talking about tobacco labeling. I mean, you could even direct it to parents, because a lot of what the labeling is about is making sure, you know, teenagers and young adults don't start smoking. So that's also a big push as far as the labeling goes.
You know, I am so interested in how teenagers and young adults are viewing vaping right now. And as it like, oh, like, it's no big deal. I just vape. It's like not smoking. It's not like, it's crazy.
There was a North Carolina, you know, research triangle. We have the big, you know, a lot of research in North Carolina. And a lady did it wasn't a validated study, but she put all these different types of vaping, I guess, liquid in petri dishes for a study, and it etched through the plastic on the petri dishes.
Wow.
So that's pretty impressive. What's it doing to their lungs?
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah. The main issue, I don't know if we could probably include vaping a little bit. The issue with some of the data I found is because, you know, tobacco companies are coming up with so many new products that their paperwork for submission to the FDA didn't actually have to be submitted until the spring of last year. So they probably don't even have, and this law was passed in 2009. So they, you know, I don't think they've even hit the vaping products yet.
Yeah.
That's that HR 1256 or whatever, 12.
Yeah. It's crazy.
So that's an option. Does anybody else have a vote?
Do we also need to be thinking about, does it also need to be applicable? I'm just, not that I'm thinking that tobacco labeling doesn't apply to this, but does it also need to apply to the
social justice
piece of it?
I think it's supposed to be the same topic.
Yeah.
I haven't looked much on that assignment, so I'm not sure what the social justice.
I think actually we can, yeah. Do we pick it? I looked last night. Do we pick a different topic, or can we stick with the same one?
I don't think it just says preparation, choose a health issue on the social justice one. It should be an issue you worked on in your health issue analysis or policy packet.
Okay.
This allows you to use evidence of both. I'm sorry.
I was just saying we could pick another one if you felt like one of them, whatever we choose, doesn't apply to the second project.
Yeah. I mean, are we creating more work for ourselves if we do that?
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
I can't create more work right now.
Me neither. I'm second that. I'm worked out. I'm burnt.
Yeah. What do we think? You know, I have to be honest. I haven't read the advocacy piece in the last week, but
this says on the instructions. Sorry for the social justice analysis. It says choose a health issue. It should be an issue where you worked on your health issue analysis or policy packet.
Okay.
The advocacy module, I haven't read through all of it yet, but a lot of it is just persuasion tips, which will
I
help.
skipped it, and I didn't think it was that relevant. I mean, yeah, but
it'll just help us in writing the paper and persuading and the voiced over PowerPoint.
So I think if we're looking at tobacco labeling, we look at sort of the, you know, not selling to kids, you know, like not selling to kids, not so, you know, does the labeling actually have an impact on health out? That's the same thing as the policy packet. I don't know. I'm so confused. I'm sorry. I just had like my brain exploded.
What about for like the social justice part? Its effect on like low income people, higher rates of smoking with.
Yeah.
I mean, can we not use that for the social justice part?
I think so.
I think so too.
Sorry, I'm just trying.
No, I think that would work for sure.
Well, in that one graph in one of the first modules, do you remember where it showed like your environment was like 50% of what actually contributed to your overall health? And if you were low income plus your, you know, it's kind of like a lifestyle in a way, you know? And then if you add, you know, tobacco and all those other things that sometimes happen when you don't have the income for better choices, if that makes sense, you know?
Yeah.
When you say, I'm just going to read this like first thing. So this is out of the social justice module. It says, when you consider the health of a community or population, the players are not individuals. They are organizations, governments, neighborhoods, occupations, policies, and programs. Social justice is a branch of ethics that govern these relations, addressing the justice between groups, particularly in terms of resource distribution. So that could be something that, you know, we could talk about.
Well, even education.
It talks about addressing health disparities. And we can, in social justice, we consider distribution of resources in terms of different groups rather than the treatment of individuals, which will be like, you know, the poverty issue with smoking.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
cigarette, Sun Drop, and Mountain Dew are the same thing in my community. They drink soda like crazy. It's almost as bad. Rachel, where are you from?
Cincinnati.
Yeah.
I hear a southern accent from you, Miss Sonia.
Yes, that's why I ask. North Carolina.
Okay. Nice.
I'm in Rhode Island, but I originally was from Boston. So sometimes my Boston accent comes out and sometimes it doesn't. There's also a very distinct Rhode Island accent that is super special that I try never to have.
You sound northern to me. That's all I can tell. The
Yeah.
only one that's really distinct to me is New Jersey.
Yep. Yep. I mean, so when I think about advocacy or when I think about social justice, I mean, my topic was like straight up social justice work, but I know that it's like not, it's kind of a controversial topic and hard to like sort of look around and all of that. But like, I'm just trying to think of how social justice relates to, because that's where I'm like sort of like, oh my gosh, this is healthcare for an entire population of people. But at the same time, I think that probably tobacco labeling we can find that has, you know.
Well, my topic is meaningful use, and that's the, use of technology, healthcare, electronic, the EHR, and integrating it into healthcare. So that's. I mean, it's hard to find.
500 in that collection. That's the ring, the pendant, the earrings in the Diamond Heart collection for $39.99 with free shipping and handling. Now, I went ahead and pulled this back.
Rachel,
my husband texts me, he's like, can you DVR the basketball game? And I'm like, okay. So I'm working on that right now while I talk to you guys. Sorry.
There's not a lot of data on like individual and community health. It's more like system-driven things. It's not really, there's very little work on health disparities and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then what about dermatology? I mean,
well, I did the Medicare reimbursement thing. I'm just not positive that would be a great topic. I mean, social justice, obviously, it's the older generation.
I do dermatology one day a month. I love it. It's my favorite.
Yeah. Most of ours is surgery.
Yeah, I love cutting on people.
Yeah. I just do the sewing back up. He does the cut and I do the putting back together.
You do the cut and the sewing and the pimple popping.
I want to do pimple popping.
Yeah, that's the best part. I love a good sparkling twist.
Yeah, we had one the other day. They hit the light. That was great.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So much fun.
He doesn't do any of that. Nope.
Okay, so it sounds like we were going to use the tobacco labeling. And I think that's a good choice for this policy packet. It sounds like, why can't it just be in the assignment place? Why do I have to click to 3 different places to find this? I'm sorry.
I printed it out because I hate digging through, and I know I saw that somewhere, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just putting it on paper, and I just turned it in.
I know. Like, I try so hard not to, like, kill the environment with all the paper in the world, but then sometimes it's the only way to get stuff done. I know.
And sometimes I like to actually look at something in black and hold it.
Yeah.
Well, then I can highlight and scratch out and check.
Right.
Yeah.
I've done that. Check.
Right.
I know. All right. Let's see.
Okay, so what we're going to have to come up with is a 1-page letter to the legislator or policymaker and try to convince them that the labeling needs to be improved. Are we convincing them that it can't be so kid friendly, that it needs to be more plain, and then it needs to have all the warnings on it? I mean, this may cause cancer has been on there for a long time, but obviously that's not working.
So the initiative is more to make it plain packaging. So you take off all the advertisements.
Okay. And
then you make the health warnings larger. The World Health Organization, their international initiative was to actually just make it black and white, like the whole packaging, which obviously I don't think we're quite there yet. But the goal for the FDA is at least to report what you are actually consuming and what that can cause, and that it is addictive.
I mean, I'll be honest, I'm a sucker for packaging. I love it. Like, I will definitely buy the more expensive tin foil if it looks pretty. Just saying.
Yeah. Well, and it draws kids in. I mean, the point of it is to make it, and all the flavors and everything to make it more, because if they hook them while they're young, I mean, it's like anything else, then you have them for life.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea is we want to make the packaging more plain, take off the advertisement, makes the warnings larger, and that's what our argument is going to be.
And this is just for the teenage population, is that correct?
Not
Or is
necessarily.
it generalizable for all smokers?
It's generalized for the public, but if we want to direct some of our, like if we're making an audience as far as our presentation goes, we can make it towards parents or you know, a school initiative or something like that. Because obviously I think most parents, even if the parents are smokers, wouldn't want their kids to pick up the habit, you know. I mean, I guess we can just take the initiative to whatever audience we want. We don't have to include everybody is what I kind of understood.
Right. So the letter, who's the legislator or policymaker that we're going to be discussing? Is this federally?
We can make it federal. I know when they actually did lobby for the bill, all of like American Academy of Pediatrics, American Heart Association, like all those organizations lobbied for it. So we could definitely do it at a federal level if you wanted to, or, you know, whatever you think, it doesn't matter.
You want to do like the Surgeon General?
Probably not, because he's the one that's
for it.
Yeah, he's for it.
Do we want to look at a specific jurisdiction? Does that make it, you know, more, you know, does that sort of make it more clear? Like we're writing to a certain, like I'll tell you, in my town, we have just passed an ordinance not to use plastic bags. It's crazy, but it happened. So, you know, a lot of things happen on a smaller scale, and sometimes when it's taking longer for the FDA to pick up on all of this, you sort of, you know, or maybe we lobby to the FDA. No, they're the ones who are doing it. I don't know.
I mean, do we have to, are we assuming that the bill has already been introduced? Or are we, I guess it just depends on where we are.
We could just, you know, write the letter to our state representative or a state representative or something and have them, which would be a little bit more specific than.
Yeah, like I think that if we look at a specific jurisdiction and then we're looking at, because we first have to write the letter and then we have to create a fact sheet, which the fact sheet could be like specific to that jurisdiction, and then creating the narrative, like we're sort of aiming our target at a certain place.
We could write.
I mean, we could do nationwide, but
we could write one to the Congressional Ways and Means Committee, the Subcommittee of Health.
Yeah, that might work.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about that, so Congressional Ways and Means Subcommittee of Health.
I know tobacco, I mean, people used to grow tobacco all the time in Kentucky, so you could always hit up some kind of Kentucky legislator.
North Carolina is you know, the home of cigarettes too. Tobacco used to be our largest crop.
But yeah, I like the subcommittee too. I guess, are they the ones that help revise the bill before it gets passed?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
So we have to get a name, whoever it is in charge of health in the Congressional Ways and Means.
Yeah, the chairman is Richard Neal. I just Googled it.
Richard Neal.
Yeah.
Is the chairman. Okay.
Of the Ways and Means Committee, and then there's a Subcommittee of Health. So
he's the chairman of the Ways and Means, or he is of the subcommittee?
He's the chairman of the Ways and Means Committee.
Oh. Can we find out who's in the head honcho of the subcommittee?
I'm looking. Sorry.
So we're not.
Hasn't told me yet.
So the FDA is actually the one who's going to enforce this, though. But we're not talking to them. We're talking to the people who would make the law that would then make the FDA do it. I'm just asking. We're not talking to the FDA, who's actually the ones who enforce it, right?
Right.
Okay.
We have to, I guess if we do the subcommittee of health, we're trying to persuade them to push the bill through, right?
So Lloyd Doggett is the majority member, is the chair of the Health Subcommittee on Health of the United States House Ways and Means Subcommittee.
Mm-hmm.
What was his name again?
Lloyd Doggett, Doggett. He's from Texas.
Okay. So if we wrote to our friend Lloyd, we're like, Lloyd, you got to make this happen.
Lloyd, what's up? Killing our kids.
I know, seriously, Lloyd, it's a problem.
What is wrong with you?
Yeah, the packaging's so pretty that I don't smoke, and I almost want to smoke because the packaging is pretty.
Okay.
So that's the letter piece. The fact sheet is probably looking at a lot of the evidence that you had, Rachel, right?
But it's supposed to be colorful and pretty, and I mean, it's supposed to be like a flyer, isn't it? It's not supposed to be just data. It's supposed to be the talking points, is what she was saying. So.
Yeah. And this flyer, the fact sheet, is to give to,
I guess, like the parents or whoever presenting.
Yeah, whoever you want to. I mean, you can also put it in the letter. She said if you wanted to make the fact sheet go with the letter to Lloyd Doggett. But I think we get to choose where everything's going and how to make it.
I mean, I kind of think of, those infographics where they sort of make, they say like 1 in 10 or, like 5 in 10, and they have like 5 little people that are one color and 5 little people that are another color. And like, that's sort of the way that you present the data, like, and a little bit more, like, sort of hand someone something and say, oh my gosh, look at this. Like, this is crazy. Arguments, because we want it to make the argument that we want it to be.
Yeah, we have to convince him that this is an important enough issue, or the parents or whoever it's going to, that it's significant enough that something needs to be done.
Yeah, we need to make this happen, type thing.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the narrated slide presentation. Oh my gosh, what is that?
It's only 3 to 6 minutes, but I mean, I don't have the audio visual capabilities like the examples, like the commercial things. Plus, even if I did, I wouldn't know how to do that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And I don't really, the thing of holding up the cards, and that's kind of overdone and, yesterday. So if we can come up with something very creative, that might be similar.
Gosh.
Or a public service announcement.
I sent you an email, guys, with Doggett's just information so you'll know who he is. Congress from his website. Sorry. Sidebar.
Oh, okay.
Great.
I was saying we could do like a Sarah McLachlan, show pictures of kids inhaling smoke. You know.
Pictures of black lungs.
Right.
Slow motion coughing.
Right.
You do an excerpt of Zoolander when he says, "I've got the black lung pop." I don't
Yeah.
Yeah. This is totally what they thought we should do, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think people would watch it.
That's true. I think personally, I like the idea of doing the narrated slide presentation to like the public or parents or something like that, instead of making it seem like everything's going to the same guy. Because if we can get the public behind us, then they're going to start writing letters to Mr. Doggett and say something needs to be done. And then that just reinforces our argument without us having to convince him. Well, you know what?
Yeah.
Voters will convince him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
One of my friends' twin brother, he recently, he's a physician and just did a patent for testicular cancer screening with Mr. Peanut.
Oh, wow.
Like with the monocle and the whole nine yards. It's like a
wow.
legit thing on YouTube. It's great.
Funny.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. It's I was like, wow, you're really hitting new levels of excitement in your career right now. You made a lot of money for it though.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we could do like, if somebody's really creative, it could be Pinocchio or something. Because, you know, in Pinocchio, he went to the place because he was smoking the
I don't have that
cigars.
much energy left. I'm 6 weeks left.
Well, I'm not that creative either, but
I have a big presentation I've still got to do, and so
Yeah.
sorry. My kids just came home. Sorry, barking dogs. We have 4, so there's always a dog barking.
how do we want to divide this up then? Because she said you're not allowed to just hand out, you know, one person do this, one that, and one person do the other thing, because that's not working together.
I can't.
I like that idea because I want you to tell me what to do and I'll just do it.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
So it looks like the things that we need are the letter, the fact sheet, and the narrated slides. That's 3 things. There's 4 of us. We're not supposed to split it up and do like things like that. So,
right. Or we don't have to tell her how we did it.
Well, could we split it up, but then as you do it, you post it in like our big discussion thread in the course, and then we all edit it together.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Like I don't have to work on the letter, but I could work on the letter and then send it to you guys, and then you look it over and make corrections, and we all kind of, you know, have a bit on it.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard for like 3 people to write one letter.
Yeah.
Right. What about a Google Doc? Is that how we're going to do it?
That's fine with me.
I think that's probably the right way to do it. Yeah.
We could share them, like set up 3 Google Docs and just share them all.
Have you seen where you can actually start your Google Doc in Canvas? Have you seen that?
No, I haven't.
There's a collaboration tab where we are like in our little Mahogany group. There's a collaboration tab there, and you can actually start a Google Doc there. So she can actually see it through that way we don't have to share it.
Okay.
Oh, I see. And it's collaborate with these people, and I get it. Okay.
Oh yeah, I see it now.
So let's document name. Name. I'm going to create at least one. Mahogany. Mahogany. I can't spell.
I bet you could also do like a Google Slides as our PowerPoint presentation.
Yep.
That way everybody can see that too.
Yep. This is PC 729 underscore policy letter. Okay, and I am going to share everybody into this, and we'll see if we can do it. Start collaborating. Are you guys getting anything or no?
I got it.
I got an email. Yeah.
Yay!
Oh, it's an email?
Okay.
Comes via email?
All right, so that was good. Then we should probably start a new collaboration. Is this okay that I'm doing this right now?
Sure.
Absolutely.
Google Apps? What is, no, Google Docs. I don't really want to do the, well, the fact sheet could be a Google Doc, right?
Yeah, we can copy and paste, can't we? Can we?
Yeah. So that's the fact sheet.
Like make it somewhere else and just copy and paste it into that?
Probably. That makes sense. Okay, so I now have done the fact sheet. And then for the narrated slides, I didn't see.
Yeah, I don't think you can do the.
I don't think we can do it.
I mean, I can just do a Google slide presentation and share from the outside, I guess, if you want to. That way it's still in PowerPoint form.
Yeah. Because it doesn't look like you can collaborate. What does it mean to collaborate using Google Apps? Oh, hold on.
Isn't Google, I got a bunch of emails though. Did you guys get it? That said that Google was getting rid of all of their Google Plus starting April 1st.
They need to keep it for right now because I'm not ready to get rid of anything. Team Mahogany.
There's a presentation one. Did you see that one?
I'm just doing that right now. So Team Mahogany. It's Mahogany, right?
Mahogany.
Yep. This is the narrated. We can change the names later. Okay, and then I'm gonna share. Oh, but I need to also share in our professors. I don't know how to share them in.
Do we have to?
I think we do Tori so that she can grade it.
Or do we just share it when we turn it in?
Let me share them to Tori, Victoria Baker, and Janelle Komorowski. Okay, everybody shared into these blank things right now.
Cool.
Okay, we have documents open.
Sounds good.
Let's start.
Check. Who wants to submit our issue to the faculty so they can tell us whether it's good or bad?
I mean, I can do it since it's my topic if you want.
Go for it. That sounds great.
I'll do it tonight. That way it's done.
That way we get answers, and if they don't like it, then we have to redo it. Okay. So Rachel will do that. As far as writing the letter, who wants to just start the letter?
I can if you want me to. It doesn't.
I am happy to, and like again, we can just start these things and then start working on it. I think one person has to like take the helm, kicking it off.
This would be a good weekend for me to do it because I'm kind of in between my work for my my big other class.
Yeah.
So it would be a good weekend for me to kind of start and work on it.
I can start, but I got to do that touch point number 2.
Woo!
I can start on either the fact sheet or the narrated slide. Doesn't really matter, whichever one people don't like. And by starting, I mean I'm not doing the whole thing. It just means that I'll start on it.
Ideas.
I
can do some on the fact sheet, but or the second, the slides, either one. But the slides is going to be a little bit harder. Now, if we collaborate, that means we can add, because we're still going to have audio, which means we're going to have to do this. Whoever does that, right? Whoever does the presentation after it's all written and everything, you have to actually show the PowerPoint slides, and then so it has to be a video recording.
Yeah.
Google Hangouts, right?
I don't mind doing the video recording if you guys don't want to. That part doesn't bother me.
Okay. Do you want me to work with you on, like, I'll start the slide aspect, and then you can, like, we can work on figuring out the video aspect of it?
Sure. Yeah.
Does that seem right?
With you. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
And you want me to start on the fact sheet?
Yeah. And then we'll all chime into all of these
collaborate.
Things. Yeah. But I think that at least if we have something that we're starting with, then we can go from there.
Yeah, I just don't think we can all work on one thing together to start out with.
No, that's why I just make a stab at starting something and
go from there.
And
we all seem like we're pretty level-headed.
It is what it is. So, yeah, we'll do our best.
Cool.
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
So go ahead.
Do you want to just communicate by email and then just like copy her on it when we're done, or how do you want to do this? Or do that little box on our Mahogany page?
I think we do the Mahogany page, so that way we don't have to submit anything extra.
Sounds good to me.
So when we say that, it's just the discussion box. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine, because if we subscribe to it, then that notification comes up that there's something new in there. Yeah, that's fine with me.
Yeah.
All right. And when is this thing due?
The 24th.
Yeah.
We have 2.5 weeks.
Okay.
I think once, I don't think it'll take that long. Do you?
That's how I feel about everything, and then it takes forever.
That's paper drag on. The more I read those instructions, the more I kept over analyzing them. Like, what does she really mean? Like, does she really mean this? Did y'all feel like that? Like those instructions were complicated?
Yes.
I felt like using the Milstead process. I was like, I don't even know what I'm supposed to do. Like, I feel like it's a cookbook that I'm writing. What okay, you said I should write the sentence this way, so I wrote the sentence that way. Like, it just didn't feel like
natural
at all.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
And the example, I don't know, to me, I don't know, it was very bland, the example, and then I felt like she wanted more because she wanted just to cite what kind of quality research we pulled. Like, when you talk about the study, is it what kind of study is it? Is it a systematic review or whatever? So I'm like, that wasn't really in the paper that was presented. So I don't know. I just caught myself second guessing myself 1,000 times, over and over. And then I submitted it and saw something I'd done wrong, and I'm like, I'm just over it.
I had to pare mine way down. It was 11 pages or something.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, she said we're supposed to be concise, yet she said, well, what about this? Well, what about this? Or what about this?
Yeah, mine was not very concise either. But then I saw some people's and they were 2-word sentences, paragraphs, 2-sentence paragraphs. And I'm like, I don't think she meant that concise.
Yeah, I know.
Happy medium.
A happy medium somewhere in between. I finally got to the point where I was just like, whatever, this is just what's happening. I had to submit it and just be done and leave it alone. So
a B equals a DNP. A B equals a DNP. So I'm good with that.
yeah.
Well, I was worried about that. I even asked Dr. Jallis. I'm like, well, the thing that they told us at the last BBB contradicted what you told me. And she said, quit worrying about it. I said, well, are you going to grade it? She said, stop worrying about grades. And I'm like, I have been at Frontier for 2 years. I have worried about grades from the day I started till the day I ended.
Yeah.
So how do you not worry about grades? That's what gets us the degree.
Yeah.
Exactly. Seriously.
Yep.
Oh,
I can tell you Dr. Jallis won't tell you wrong, though. Go with whatever she says. She's usually always right. And, you know, if you have any trouble with her, just call her. I mean, I've spent hours with her on the phone.
I have called her.
Hours. I mean, we're on a text message basis. Like, I send her smiley faces and pictures, and I send her weekly screenshots of how my graduation countdown. She just sends me eye rolls like, oh my God, you're killing me, Sonia.
Awesome.
Well, I live in a tiny town. Our whole county is only 34,000 down here in Florida. But I know 3 people, not including me, who went through Frontier. And one of my good friends was doing the bridge program, and she got a 79 in pathophysiology twice.
Oh, no.
She's out.
No.
And when you do the bridge, what do you do now?
You don't get anything.
Nope.
She don't get a BSN. She don't get anything.
And she's got all the student loans.
So what is she?
Well, right now, she tried to appeal, and so far it's
oh my God. I would be 1 point. 1 point, right? Oh
twice. Twice. It was
That's
1
awful.
point.
Oh, wow.
That's awful.
I would want to throw up.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
well,
terrible.
I took her word for it, so I took patho by itself. It wasn't that bad by itself. So
I did the 3 Ps, but that was hell.
Yeah, I did 2 Ps and 1 because of her.
Wow.
Yeah, I did patho and
no, Hannah.
And physical assessment, but I don't know how I did it because I worked full time and I have 2 kids. But
yeah,
I don't know. All I got is 6 weeks, baby.
Right.
You can do it.
You girls will have to pull me through. You'll have to be my cheering squad.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I only have 6 months.
I think I invited you guys to my DNP presentation. Did I get invited?
Can we do that just remotely? I mean, we can see on a Google Hangout or something.
Yeah, it's going to be in a BBB room.
Oh, cool. I think I saw yours. Yeah, I got.
Yeah, I think you accepted. I think.
Yeah, I think I did.
Yeah.
I got to the point where I'm like, I'm accepting everything because I just need to see what it looks like.
Yeah, me too.
I'm like, I just need to see other people do this so I can feel better about it because
it's
right
only
now
like,
I've got myself panicked about it. So
yeah, they're only like 15 minutes, so it won't be bad. But it's on increasing patient portal usage in a federally qualified health center.
Awesome.
So.
Oh, that's a good one because 100% of the people I polled did not use the patient portal for the derm.
Yeah.
Wow.
People don't really want to use it. That's the thing.
Well, in our population are 70, 80, 90-year-olds. So
yeah, ours too. And they live in the sticks, and you can't get internet in the sticks.
Yeah.
I have 31-year-olds that have flip phones. So
Oh wow.
I mean, seriously, I have 2 31-year-old patients, and both of them have flip phones. And they don't want the internet. They don't want technology. They don't want to know anything about it. They're perfectly happy living their Mountain Dew infested lives.
Right.
That's awesome.
Whoa.
Hey, it's all about quality of life. That's what I say.
Quality, not quantity. That's for sure.
I'm right. I have a patient today that drinks 4 liters of Mountain Dew a day.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
How are they not like 500 pounds? Like, or are they?
Well, yeah, they are. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And then I had a lady the other day, and she's like 5'1", and she weighs like 326 pounds. And she's like, I was like, you need to be exercising. She says, well, I walk 13 steps to my apartment. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, well, how much soda do you drink a day? And she's like, I drink 2.5 liters every day of Sundrop. Well, Sundrop is like an equivalent to Mountain Dew in a way for our area. You guys, a lot of you guys don't know what that is, but that's a lot of soda. And then she's talking about having gastric bypass. And I'm like, lady, quit your soda and exercise and you'll get there.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And she's only 29.
Oh.
And we're already paying. She has a helper come to her house to help her take care of her child because she's so large.
I just think about, though, like some of these people, they start out as kids overweight and then they just, I mean, and to me, that's not their fault, you know, and how are you supposed to turn that around sometimes, you know?
And it escalates, you know. And then parents, all they drink is soda and eat candy bars, and it's awful.
We used to live south of Lexington and then down in Garrett County, a little bit farther south, and everybody had Mountain Dew in their baby bottles or Pepsi in the baby bottles.
Oh my goodness. I don't see this.
Welcome to the real world.
I know. Well, I mean, I wrote about gender things because like 20% of my students use alternative pronouns. Like,
wow.
that's my population. I've got one student right now who does not use pronouns. I was like, I feel like you're a noun, and a noun must have a pronoun, but I don't know. So yeah, it's different.
It's
hard. No one's drinking soda, but there's like
you're not sure what they
really having major identity issues, and you know, we're giving trans hormone therapy in college health, and that's my, I know. So I don't have to do any like health promotion about soda because no one drinks it. Yeah. I've got more eating disorders than obesity. So
yeah, 70% of my patient population is 200% poverty level.
My pay $70,000 a year to come to school.
Yeah, not
grief.
Yeah, it's really special. It's really a special environment. It is. Like, oh, can you talk to my mom? She's in Dubai right now, but she wants to talk to you on the phone. I'm like, okay.
It's like a whole different level of human, you know, like
they like I mean, like we have winter session, and then we're on break between winter session and spring semester, and people are like flying all over the globe for winter session, like for this little like week and a half break. They're going all over the place. Like, it's crazy.
Do they know anything about health disparities?
Well, you know, I think that a lot of the international students, they feel their disparity might be related to the country that they live in. Like, so all of my students from China come over and they all want the HPV vaccine because it's not available. Like, Tdap is not available in most Asian countries. Like, and so it's not an economic disparity so much as like a government disparity and sort of like, and then everybody with gender issues, that's their disparity. So it's different. It's really interesting. It's a wild and crazy place that I work in. I used to work in a inner city hospital in Providence, and so that was interesting because more than half of my patients spoke Spanish only, and a lot of them were below the poverty line. But then I went down the street to the ritzy college that provides no financial aid, and now we've got very different problems. So it's interesting. Every day is different.
Well, hopefully they make you some nice crafts.
Yeah, I mean, their work is amazing. They bring stuff I'll bring them in. I'm only about 20% clinical and 80% administrative right now, but I'll bring students into the room to, and they're like, oh, I have all my stuff with me, and they're bringing in these masterpieces of things. So I'm like, oh my gosh, that's gorgeous. And they're like, oh, it's my professor didn't like it. I'm like, okay, can I take it home, put it in my house?
Yeah, I can barely draw a heart, so.
Wow. They're like, I got to start over. I'm like, oh, I'll take that off your hands. So it's different, but yeah. So anyways, I know soda exists in other parts of the country.
Heavily in the South.
I've heard about it.
With their tobacco, with their cigarette-stained lips and fingers, and their soda, yeah. A lot.
Spitting their dip in an empty soda can.
Yep. Oh, yeah. And they fit it in the floor. That's right. Yep. It is what it is. But they're some of the nicest people in the whole world. They would give you the shirt off their back because they don't have anything.
Yeah. Which is amazing. I mean, my students could be a-holes sometimes because they just have everything and don't understand what it's like not to have anything.
These people have nothing, and they would give you their last dollar if they had it, and they thought you needed it.
Exactly.
So, I got moonshine last year, out real stuff too, girls, and it was pretty nice.
I respect you for that.
Hey, I'm not gonna say no.
It was a gift.
It was a gift. He called it river water, so
Wow.
I know you're jealous.
I am actually. No one's giving me anything.
You have your art, but I have moonshine.
Probably doesn't taste too bad after the third glass, huh?
The first glass goes down real smooth.
Oh boy. All right, ladies, I'm done for tonight, I think. Is that okay?
Yep.
I'm losing my mind.
Wait till the end.
Yeah. I know it's going to get worse. I'm aware of that.
I think implementation for me was worse just because of my project. It was a very hard project. A lot of doing things. I had a lot of things that I had to do for my project, and then a lot of data entry. That's what kills you. And I worked full time, so a lot of these girls only worked 3 days a week, or they were volunteering at their clinic, so they had time to do all this stuff. And so I was spending 20 and 24 hours on a weekend just data entry and doing all the things that I had to do to turn in. So that's what was so hard for me.
Yeah. Gosh.
But it's over. 6 weeks, girls. 6 weeks. Hopefully you'll come to my presentation and at least see me make a fool of myself.
Yeah, that was March 1st. Is that what it was?
Yes, ma'am. At 1 o'clock.
Yeah, won't miss it for the world.
I'll try. What is March 1st? I don't have a calendar.
It's a Friday.
Oh, I might be able to make that one then.
Yeah, March 1st.
Excellent. Yep, I got you. Got you in my calendar.
All right, ladies. You have a good night.
All right, you too.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, bye-bye.